Okay, looks like we're live. We are live now. Yes, we are live here now. It is Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock Central Time here at the Team Certainty and Power Network Wednesday night Google Hangout for prospective new members. Thank you for welcoming and for joining us tonight, this evening. I'm still waiting on Mr. Gary Smith and Mr. Iron Dane Richards to jump in and join us. Both of them were on just a few seconds ago and just had computer problems, so hopefully both of them will jump on. I may get a Skype or a text or something in between, now and then before they do jump on. But I want to welcome you viewers to this evening for our Google Hangout. These Google Hangouts, we do these Google Hangouts twice a week, and these Google Hangouts are designed specifically for new members, prospective members who want to know more about Team Certainty and Empower Network, what we do, what Empower Network does, why we're tied in, how we're tied into Empower Network, and how we make money and operate and so forth. So that's what these Google Hangouts are. We're doing twice a week, this time period, from 8 to 9 Central Time on Wednesday, this time period. And we also do them Saturday mornings from 11 to 11:30. It's much more casual. This one isn't casual, I guess. But the Saturday mornings are designed specifically for questions and answers. And we get questions throughout the week, and that's what this tab is over here on the side of the broadcast page that you're watching, that tab that says support. You just click that, box will pop open. You can type in a question, anything about Empower Network, Team Certainty, team leaders, anything you want to know, about Team Certainty or Empower Network, and it'll go to support. The support will answer those questions for you, and then also they'll send them to us. Support will send those questions to us, the ones they deem appropriate for us to answer live on Saturday mornings during the questions and answer period. We'd like to make a special, thank you right now for all of our international, viewers. We have a tremendous international contingency, and primarily due, I think, to our website being in 72 different languages. There's just a lot of people that, like to translate, and it's, Empower Network's supposed to be getting into that as well, but we'll wait and see on whether they're able to do the translation. I'm sure they will. They're a little behind in doing that. I know it's on their agenda, but it hasn't risen to the surface yet. So we'll see that. I see Mr. Iron Dane Richards. Thank you for coming in and joining. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine. I had a little technical problems here for a while.
Yeah, we're just getting started here. Oh, and there's Mr. Smith too. He has been able to join us. How are you doing there, Mr. Gary Smith? How are you doing this evening?
Good Lord, I had to download a plug-in 3 times.
I was fighting it too tonight.
Gary, I haven't seen you in a few weeks, but I got to tell you, you're still the computer geek. You still look like the computer geek I knew back then. So.
Okay. Good,
well, I got some big news, buddies.
Okay, well, we just got started. We're live. This is live, so we're live. Viewers are watching us now. Do you want to talk about those things now, or in a minute, or later after?
In a minute. I'm just about in a blur. I've had so much going on.
All right. Once you get organized a little bit there, and like I said, viewers, thank you for joining this evening, and a special shout out to our international viewers. If you're watching this live or on replay, thank you for taking the time. We'll give you an hour's worth of content like we always do during these Wednesday evening content sessions. Also, you might be viewing or listening on one of the radio stations we broadcast on the internet. And we certainly welcome you for taking the time for listening in for this next hour as well, whether live or on replay. Nothing. Well, I say nothing. Pretty much going on. Some big Israel stuff happening. Middle East stuff happening in the last 24 hours. Other than that, it's all World Cup. And Brazil. Didn't you catch that Germany game yesterday?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it was unreal. It was unreal. 7-1. It wasn't even that close. Germany just. So sorry for those Brazilian fans because, Germany got a score. I think it was like 12 minutes into the game or something. It let the air out of the sails. Then they got another one like 2 minutes later, and then it just like boom, boom, boom. They got 3 more in like 2 minutes, and before you knew it, it's 5-0. And then Germany just kind of stopped. They just said, "Look, we're not going to try as hard." They looked they were unstoppable. It was just one of those times where a team just, in my opinion, catches his zone and just they could have beat anybody. They were playing that good. And I'm not saying, Brazil kind of fell asleep at the wheel a little bit there, but that was only after they got stunned 3-0. Once they were down 3-0, man, they just, balls would fly by them, and they just said, oh, I could have usually got that. So anyway, it was just, it was fun. It was sad, at the same time to watch it. But Germany, I think certainly deserved to win yesterday, and they were the better team of the two. The game today between Holland, Belgium, and Argentina went into extra kicks, and I didn't really particularly like the Holland team. They did not play too fairly, I thought. I think they beat Mexico or somebody, but yeah, they beat Mexico, and they kind of robbed that game from Mexico. Mexico should not have lost that game. But the guy in Belgium with like a minute left in the game, this guy, she knew exactly what he was doing. He's one of these seasoned players, and older fella, and he just he flopped, as they say in basketball. And he did it in an area which gave, and the reason why he did flop, because he knew if he flopped within this area, close to the goal, that they would get a free kick. Not a corner kick, but a free kick. And so they got a free kick and made it, and that's how they won the game. But that guy did not get, he didn't get hit at all. I mean, he just, he flopped, just fell on the ground, and started rolling over like somebody hit him. Nobody touched him, I felt sorry for Mexico because, they should not have. That's how I don't like seeing games judged or ended like that. You can't make it. These guys bust their behinds and have their hearts into it for 6-8 months, and for it all to go down on something like that, that would just piss me off to no end if I was on the field. But unfortunately, it's part of the game. So, how have you been, Mr. Smith?
Good. Hey, we're in full swing of the baseball season, and I had a grandson throw a no-hitter in single A Legion baseball last week.
Wow.
Threw a perfect.
Just one? He only threw one no-hitter? If he's a Smith, he should be able to throw one no-hitter every week.
And we got our 12-year-olds. My son's the president of the Youth Baseball Association in our valley, and our 12-year-olds have won the Jerome tournament, and they won our tournament last weekend, and they're playing in state this weekend. And they've got a very good chance because the team that they're facing, they 10-runned them in 4 innings, and they called the game, to win this last championship. I mean, these kids are killing it. It's this is what Caldwell used to be like years ago, and so it's kind of refreshing that we can be feared again. I'm going over to Boise to watch that 12-year-old game this weekend, and I hope they do it. Go to regionals. Be the first time we've taken a team to regionals in a long time.
Just out of curiosity, how hot does it get up there in the summer?
Oh, we've been having some terrible weather. We hit triple digits, and them boys were out there playing double headers, and I was dying in the shade under my umbrella.
You were actually in the 90s or 100s up there? You guys get that hot?
Oh, yeah. This is usually by the 4th we'll break into the hundreds, and then we won't quit until after we have our rodeo.
Okay.
Until we get the rodeo association comes through. This is one of the main stops. They like this Caldwell Night Rodeo thing. The pros all have it, so it's fun.
Oh, good.
It's a fun time of year, but it's just brutal. I can't take clothes off.
All right. Well, we need to get started here, and Mr. Arnie Richards, is there anything, local economy or anything else you want to chat about before we get started?
Not really tonight. I've been glued to the phone today, working pretty hard on some deals, folks.
Okay.
But yeah, I haven't really done anything but that. That's
okay. Well, we'll talk about that, in the afterglow when this thing's over here in a minute. And Gary, I know there's a lot of stuff you want to chat about too. So. And I got a couple of things as well. But, tonight's topic for the viewers, is, the current, Empower Network status So last week we're going to do it, and then we're going to move on to other things. But we want to finish up this, Charlotte deal, the announcements they came out with, with Empower Network. We're going to talk a little bit about iPass as well tonight. I do have an update on that as well. And there's one other item. Oh, the online, the offline new approach for Empower Network. Recruiting to recruit offline. One other thing that happened today, I don't know if you guys got this message or not, but did you get an email message about your e-wallet today from Empower?
Yeah, I did. I was going to ask you about that because I really didn't do anything about it yet.
Well, it's kind of interesting they're finally getting around to doing this, and again, this is one of these compliance things, and it's bound to, I know this Google Hangouts is designed for new members, and that's perfectly fine, and we can air some dirty laundry here as well, but it's not that crazy. It's a matter of being compliant and getting compliant, when a new company starts like Empower Network did 2 years ago, they were more focused on getting the product, for the ability to sell the product and to people to get paid. And they had problems with their Paymaster pay accounts and everything else. Hooked up with this group in London finally, and they seem to be able to handle it, and Empower Network's probably been one of the biggest clients. I'm certain it has been one of the biggest clients. But in the day and age that we live now, you have to know your customer. I mean, that's just a rule in any major country is you've got to know your customer. Even if they're international clients, it's perfectly fine. In some cases, like here in the United States, it's not perfectly fine. They just here in the United States, the banking industry, they don't welcome foreign nationals to the bank. They just don't like it. They don't want it. They don't want to have to deal with it. You walk in there with a passport from Morocco or someplace or Africa or the Far East. They just look at you and say, hit it. Find some other bank to do your business with. There's other places like the United Kingdom, that has said, has been open and to foreign nationals and said, just provide your legal documents, and we're good to go. And that's basically what now Empower Network's gotten around to. It's very interesting that's basically what they're asking for. In their wallet, they never ask for any kind of IDs of any kind. Now they're asking for IDs after you've got your account up and established and everything else. They used to not ask for IDs unless you were moving 10 grand a month out of the account. And I produced my IDs for them, probably about 7-8 months ago. But I got another email today about that. To produce them again.
Yeah. Well, boys, I must be compliant because I didn't get one. You're making me curious. I went and looked.
Well, be prepared. I was going to say be prepared because I think they're updating everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was a hack attack.
It might be as well. It might be as well, but I don't think they would ask for IDs if it was a hack. They would ask for passwords and a few other things, not an ID. It looked like a legit email to me.
Yeah.
And I did actually log on to my wallet. In my wallet. Yeah, and I just uploaded my IDs again, and I'm sure everything will be fine. But it's just interesting to me that they're finally getting around to doing this and doing it system wide. So anyway, it's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. But my guess is it's probably going to anger a few people, especially if people have a lot of money in those accounts, and rely on that money, to be moved around, and if they get hung up or something because of some nonsense like this, then it's not going to make them too happy. So anyway, but let's move on and talk about Charlotte. What happened in Charlotte, some of the things that.
Yeah.
That you can buy. We bought some there when we were in Charlotte, but I was told they're going to come out and they're going to be in your back office. You can buy them online in one of the stores that's going to be popping up with Empower Network products, as you can buy calendars and hats and shirts and all the other stuff that Empower Network sells. You can also buy the introductory online or offline recruitment CD-ROM. And you know, David Wood put a lot of effort into making it. He put even more effort into, you know, selling it. And you know, it's a good product. You know, but you know, to me, it's a little weird because you still got to have a computer to watch it. You know, I don't think there's many computers out there that have a CD-ROM, you know, drive in it that don't have the internet.
Right.
You know, so you know, it's kind of interesting to hear the other people talk about it. That's what I like. I like listening to a few of the other teams out there and some of the leaders, you know, on the Monday night calls and a few of the other hangouts about their take on it. You know, some are high on it, some of them aren't high. I think what it is it's a vehicle that you can use to recruit if you're a traditional MLM belly-to-belly type of recruiter. You know, if you get like meeting people for lunch at Starbucks and talking about, you know, your opportunity, then this is ideal for you. You know, and technically you would never even have to get on the internet. But it's the other thing too is it's a little pricey. I think it's $190 bucks. It's $190 and now you get your blog, you get your inner circle as well, and you get to become an affiliate. All three of those products are included in the price, so you know it's a pretty good deal. But it's still $198 bucks out of the gate. You know.
Well, I could third party sell that on eBay.
Yeah, you know, that's a good question. You know, it wouldn't hurt to do some searching on eBay to see if it's being sold on eBay. My guess is it is. You know, the other thing too about that iPass is coming out, and we'll talk about iPass here in just a few minutes. But you know, the iPass deal has a tripwire that's $7. Mm-hmm. So that $7 tripwire is actually competing against that $198 offline. If you can call it a tripwire, it's not a tripwire, but it's in a position to be a tripwire. But at $198 bucks, it's not a tripwire. You know.
Well, my take on it is I think they went backwards sending the CD instead of creating a mobile app for you know, Android and iPhones, and using the newer technology where people are all moving toward using your cell phone for everything. You know, going backwards to sending them a DVD or CD just seems like it's kind of a retro move rather than a move forward. I'd rather see a regular app with a V card in it that you could V card and you can hit your local sharing wherever you're at and just broadcast it. You know, I mean.
I agree, but I can tell you this, and you're right. I agree with you that you know it's a regression step, but it's designed and planned strictly for that because some people like to stay in that area. Some people like to stay in that belly-to-belly recruitment. You know. And they've been very successful at it, built gigantic teams with it, and so they're very accustomed to it, like it, you know, and providing this particular you know, piece of collateral, you know, helps them promote Empower Network, you know, in that arena that they're very comfortable with. That's the whole reason why it's designed that way, you know, and whereas Empower Network from the conception, you know, of getting started has always been online, get online. You know, they've escalated, you know, to these Google Hangouts, which they do from time to time for new members, especially when a promotion is coming on. And of course, all their products are electronically delivered. So, you know, if somebody gets one of those CD-ROMs and decides to join, well, guess what? You know, they're going to have to be online, you know, in order to capitalize with the Empower Network product. There's no way you can't. I mean, how else can you take delivery? Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Well, the CD-ROM knows a physical product, and I can definitely recognize the appeal to that. I like it, you know, because I sell, you know, tons of video games, and I just quadrupled that recently. I'm going to have a larger virtual store online than Go Hastings. I'm going to pass Go Hastings.
Wow.
That's all been unfolding in the last little bit here. Which, you know, if you want at the end of this hangout, I can talk to you know, the viewers about that a little bit, about, you know, the different ways that Team Certainty shows you how to.
Absolutely. Why don't you do that? Do that. Go ahead and do that.
Make money online. You know, it's we're, as a team right here, folks, you know, getting really, really close to doing seminars, and we kind of want to tie them, you know, a week ahead of Empowered's events, so we're, you know, there in town anyway, and we can see you at these deals and show you some different ways to make money online, and you know, kind of help fund your Empower Network venture. That's our whole goal. I mean, I'm in love with Empower Network, always will be, and the iPass-2 system and everything, but you know, I like a couple, 3 different sources of income, you know, just for security's sake, if nothing else, because I've had the rug jerked out from underneath me before. Not saying that Empower Network would jerk the rug out from underneath you. I don't think that'll happen in 100 years, but you know, life happens, you know, and I like to not keep my eggs all in one basket, like they say.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. And you were going to say something, Mr. Richards?
No, I was just agreeing with you. I was right there just with you. So, yeah, no joke. That's great. You know, that's.
Richard will show you at those seminars. Richard will show you how to get a big old whopping loan, and I'll show you how to invest it. And
I'll show you how to drink Crown Royal.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Mike will show you how to put 2 of them together. 2 and 2 make 4. I think.
We call this quaffing.
Yeah, the next event's going to be in Orlando, and it's going to be in October. You know, that was one of the other things that was delivered to us while we were in Charlotte. The next event, you know, is going to be in Orlando, mid-October, 17th. You know, it's probably around that Columbus, I think, holiday, you know, weekend holiday, so it's a 3-day weekend. You know, I expect it to be a big, and they expect it, Empower expects it to be a very big event. You know, that destination point of Orlando accomplishes 2 things. You know, people can bring their entire family, and, you know, it's a holiday where the kids can go and mama can go do some things over here in all the parks, Disney and Universal, you know, while everyone else is, you know, at the Empower Network event. Now, as you guys know, David Wood was not shy about beginning to promote the special announcement they're going to, you know, unveil in Orlando. You know, and he was so high on the Charlotte announcement, you know, but he began the Charlotte announcement by saying, look, you know, what I'm going to tell you today is big news, is huge news, but what I'm going to tell you in Orlando is 10 times as big. I mean, we both kind of chuckled. Richard and I, or Mr. Irony and Richard looks at each other, kind of chuckled and go, we got 3 months of this hype now, you know, to figure out what this is, you know, and but that's good, you know, it's all good stuff, and you know, and I can't believe how much you can hype on top of hype on top of hype on top of hype, but you know, he's good at it. He's very good at it, and you know, for me, you know, it's all about, you know, staying focused and going about your business, you know, and we here at Team Certainty, we make money with Empower Network products, the Empower Network sales, and we also make money outside of Empower Network. And we make money utilizing the Empower Network products in our other product lines that we do sell, because that's exactly what Empower Network products do. They supplement and educate you on how to operate and excel in your other network marketing business or brick and mortar business, or, you know, relationships, you know, and things like that. And so I'm really looking forward to October and that event. And I expect a big portion of our team to be there. I expect a big new portion of our team to also be there as well. And I expect the rest of this year, you know, including and up to and after the October Orlando event, to be focused on pretty much the infrastructure and positioning and getting the snowball down the hill, so to speak, so that rolling into 2015, you know, we're beginning to touch and get to the goals that we all have set for ourselves in this team, and that is expansion in other countries. You know, the question I'm having, I've already started doing this, is you know, what are the countries and where are we going in 2015? How many of you want to visit? It's either going to be 3 or 4, I can tell you that. you know, and if we can get to more, we'll get to more. But you know, we'll shoot for three and possibly make four, and if we can get more, then you know we'll get more. So, you know, and I'm working out some of the criteria and the demographics and you know strategic. You know, like a good example of this is there's one country that's off the board. It's not we're not going to for sure. You know, can any of you guys guess which one that one is? Well, I mean, actually, there's several, but you know, but just focus on Empower Network. There's one country we're not going to go to. Can you guess which one?
Iraq.
This is for Team Certainty players. This is for Team Certainty. All new members, viewers watching right now, you know, that want to join. That's what the buttons are for below. You know, all you can spend is $25. By the way, the income statement we're talking about Monday tonight. So make sure you look at the income statement down below this broadcast page as well. But you know, in 2015, we're going to be traveling some of the team leaders, you know, to other countries around the world, you know, to launch, you know, and our network and our additional downline, you know, in those countries and spend some money and everything else there. But can you guess that one country that's not on the list? Mr. Ryan Dane Richards, throw something out.
Well, I'm going to say that. Well. You know, this may be crazy, but probably, are we going to bypass Mexico?
It's close. It's very close. But actually, Mexico. But actually, that's who was that? Who's that guy from Mars? Is that guy from Mars?
Yeah,
that's the country we're not going to go to. Where's it called? It's called the country of Boise, Idaho. No. Actually, Mexico probably will be one of the ones, only because the geographic location,
right.
You know, and just the relationships that all we have, you know, here, you know, already have a kind of a foothold actually into Mexico as well. So it's a great place to to test a few things. There's some issues about safety, travel safety, that have to be addressed as well. So, but I can tell you, Mexico's kind of on the upper echelon of list 2 of 10, but it's not the one that we're not going to go. And when I tell you this country, you're going to laugh and say, I know that anyway. But you know, I'm spending a little bit too much time on this. Gary, are you still there? Are you in the room?
I'm here.
What country do you think we're not going to go see? We're not going to go to.
Good Lord, Iraq.
Iraq. Okay, well, you know, that's a pretty good guess, you know, from a cowboy, I guess. And
how about Costa Rica?
I would have to agree with you. Iraq's not on the list either, but you know, either is Iran and Afghanistan or Saudi Arabia or anything there in the Middle East for that matter. You know, we need to attend, and I'll let for the viewers that are watching, the prospective viewers that are watching, you'll get a little bit of insight here on how we think about things and where we want it, how we address things at the highest level here at Team Certainty. You know, we want to travel to places where there's a good population, where the population is sizable enough to where you know, you can absorb, you know, a very small amount of people, but still create a big team. You know, 1%, you know, of a city, you know, if you can capture 1% of a major city, you know, then you're doing very, very, very well. You know, and so, you know, but we want to go to a population, first of all, that can afford it, you know, that is entrepreneurial enough to understand what Empower Network, you know, does. The country is stable enough for our safety, and the technology is there so that you know, most people have internet. You can't really run Empower Network with your cell phone. I mean, you can, but it's just you got to have a desktop or a tablet or something. You know, some of the cell phones you can, but you know, there's so much data, you know, and there's so much, you know, video to watch that you got to really have, you know, a desktop monitors and everything else to do it. So the technology, the country has to be, you know, I mean, we're not going to go to Fiji Island. I mean, we can't, you know, that's off the board, right? You know, I can tell you Australia, you know, is interesting, but it's too far away. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to go there for the first, you know, out of the gate. It just doesn't make sense. Something really, really far away from the States just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But the country I was going to tell you guys, you know, if you think about it, and once I tell you, you're going to laugh and kind of kick yourself. But it's Portugal. We're not going to go to Portugal, you know. And you say, well, Portugal, what the hell? Why did you even think of Portugal? Well, the lazy millionaires and Aaron Raskin and all of his team and everything else, hell, they own Portugal. You know, they've capital. Yeah. You know, I mean, I mean, I'm sure you can go there and get customers and everything else. But look, man, what for? Why? Why do you want to jump into somebody's? Right? Yeah, do you want to jump into somebody's bed like that and try and make a mess? You know, I mean, they own it. It's theirs. They worked hard to get it. Let them have it. You know, and more to them. You know, I'll pat them on the back and say, look, you know, you guys are doing very well. You know, and keep going. You know, and own this country. You know, have everybody on your team. The whole damn country should be on your team. You know, let me take Ireland. You know, or let me take, you know, Uruguay. You know, or some other place. You know, so but anyway. You know, that's part of the criteria that we evaluate. The population has to be there. It has to be, you know, you want to have one or two people, or you want to have a little bit of a. You would like to have in a power network presence there, but nothing of grandeur nature. You know, and get in there, and the people that actually join Team Certainty, and we have a few of those as well in different places right now. But it's not a criteria. You know, for being on the team, or for us to go to that country, that we have members there. In fact, I prefer it not to be honest. But I'm not the one making the call on all this either. So that's just my 2 cents. But it's going to be fun, and it's going to be a experience in 2015. You know, for this team to grow and expand, because what Empower Network is doing, you know, this year, 2014, they've had so many changes already, and it's only halfway through the year. You know, the Vic Streethouse nightmare, David Sharp, you know, going away, compliance issues, you know, and Jonathan Cronstedt of his first year as the CEO. You know, I think he's done a reasonable good job. You know, but this you know, I think when Dave Sharp was here, I think the company was centered a little bit better, and its agenda was more clear, but it started getting in the way.
Oops. He'll be back.
Yeah. Hopefully. You know, that's funny, Richard, you know, talking about that world stuff, because that's what I've been doing the last 2 weeks with eBay. I've sold all around the world with eBay for a long time, and you know, just a certain few products. I'm rolling my entire inventory worldwide, and I've been on it the last 2 weeks, and it is just going over gangbusters. I'm one of the only people on eBay USA that offers world shipping, and
that's tough. Yeah,
I'm breaking new ground on that. And folks, that's one of the things that we'll teach at the seminars, you know, and there's people that know half what I know about eBay. They're charging $2,500 to teach people how to sell on eBay, you know, and for the small price of admission, you know, to our seminar, I'll teach you a lot of this stuff right there. Right there before you leave that seminar, you'll know how to be, you know, a top-rated power seller on eBay like myself.
Yeah, because being a power seller, that's not the easiest thing to do anymore with all their changes and their, you know, their payment formulas and everything else. That's
I tell you, at the beginning, it drove me crazy. I'd have it and then I'd lose it. I'd have it, then I'd lose it. And I can teach you the secrets of what I've learned firsthand. And this year, folks, now by taking my store worldwide and quadrupling my inventory, I'm going to easily make $250,000 this year on eBay.
Just on eBay?
Yeah, easily. And that's net. Gross. That's not gross, folks. That's net.
Yeah, that's
the gross number's much higher than that.
That's a 1099 from them.
Yeah, I've been spreading out some 1099s, you know, and there's another thing that I've been working on really diligently, and you know, I haven't bared any fruit off of it yet, but it takes a long time to build your pipeline up with this one, and I'll share that with you too at these seminars. I'm so excited to do these.
Yeah, and folks, that what Gary's talking about right now is definitely something that all of you can do. I mean, if you put your mind to it, it's a workable deal, and it's just a little patience. Isn't that about it, Gary?
Relatively a small investment, you know. It's some postage stamps. You know, if you can afford $10 in postage stamps a week, you can create yourself a very healthy pipeline in a year. It wasn't as quick as I thought it'd be, and the learning curve on this one's huge. But
that's one good thing that you can pass along at the seminars is, you know, just like about everything we do here at Team Certainty is, you know, folks, we've gone through the labor pains for you. I mean, that's the one thing I can assure you of. We've done the hard lifting, and we've gone through if there's any ups or downs or losses, we're the ones that already figured out where the pitfalls are and where the loops are, you know, where the loopholes are.
Yeah, everything in the back office is time tested. It's not a bunch of woulda, shoulda, coulda. You know, it is proven to produce income.
There he is. Good to see you, sir.
Yeah, I'm the you know, the magic magician, you know, back and forth, you know. Sorry, I just went blank, man, you know, and so you know, go ahead, Gary. You finish what you're saying.
It kind of led into what I wanted to talk about anyway, and how I've been taking my eBay in the last 2 weeks worldwide. Everything I sell now is worldwide. I'm on the U.S. eBay site, and I'm on the world site. And I'm one of the first eBay sellers to do that. And I'm breaking new ground with it and quadrupling the inventory.
How do you handle the shipping?
Well, that's the cool part. The new stuff that I'm adding in droves is drop shipped by somebody else. I don't even have to inventory it. And I can teach you guys how to do this. It's super simple. A lot of people that buy from me on the physical products that I have stocked here sell on Amazon and then buy them from me, and I ship directly to their customer. It's drop shipping. And I'll show you how to find product on one site and sell it on another for a tremendous profit and never inventory anything.
Wow, that's great.
Crazy. It's crazy. But if you want to inventory stuff and you build up a little bit, I can show you some things that'll just make you a ton of money. I mean, the markup on these is 300% and 400%. And I'm branching out into that too. And this eBay thing, I mean, it's crazy. This worldwide thing is crazy. Just crazy good.
I thought eBay was worldwide already. They weren't? Well,
yeah, but most of the people that are on eBay that you see when you log in with a United States machine only goes to United States. It doesn't go around the world. You have to click another couple buttons to be on your site, and you better know what you're doing, because they've got a global ship thing that is just absolutely horrid. I sold a video camcorder to a guy in UK, and I didn't hit the other button. I'd only hit one, and I didn't even know that I did because I'm doing so many listings. He bought this camera, and then they want to send him an invoice, and he backed out of the sale. You know, you have to impulse and you have to be ready. So mine calculates for them. When they put in their address, it calculates right then what it's going to cost them to get this thing on their doorstep, and then they make the decision to either go forward or not. It took me a week just to get my camera listed back on site because this guy, you know, half-assed bought it. He didn't complete the transaction, and then just wouldn't answer any emails. You know, so, you know, that's not the way to do it. And I can teach all that stuff, and I'm so anxious to do these seminars, you know, and share this with everybody and get these people online, because once I show you how super simple it is, you go, man, I should have been doing that years ago. This is stuff you can do in the evenings, and it's just super simple. All you got to do is check some emails, and yeah, I mean, in the last 2 weeks, my eBay sales, you know, had dropped significantly because I hadn't been paying attention. And so I kind of, changed that, I don't know, about a month ago and crawled back into it, and I'm right back there where I was now. Well, I'm actually way past that. But
Cool.
That's good.
then I, got lucky and met a video game buyer that's been in it for 27 years from Minnesota, and he's drop shipping for me, and so that's sweet. He's just been rat holing warehouses full of stuff, because he's a good buyer, but he's not such a good, marketer. Yeah, I think he's probably a great salesman in bulk, but there's only so many of them deals out there, Like I told him, I said, shoot, I've already got tons of stuff sitting on site. Last thing I want to do is put another pile here.
No.
But I can sure make them go away for you. So I'm gearing up for one of the best Christmases I've had in years. I'll be selling hundreds of these things for Christmas.
You bring up a topic that I was going to close out on and chat about, and that is, and we've talked about it the last 3 or 4 hangouts we've done, and again, this is the last hangout we're going to do, in regards to Charlotte, the regional events, the different things, the drama that's all been gone through through Empower Network and everything else. The hangouts from this point forward for prospective new members are going to be geared exclusively for signups. To get in, what to expect, and some of the topics, some of the things we used to do in the past. What are our favorite, not only products, but our favorite traffic sources and how we make money, and getting into it. And we've touched on a little bit of that, obviously, with your eBay and stuff and so forth. But this is the last hangout that we're going to do that we've been dwelling on these regional events, and especially the Charlotte one, because it was hyped up so much. But one of the things I really want to get into for prospective new members, and we've touched on this throughout the last 3 months, but not anywhere near where you need to. And that is, how do you want to close out the rest of this year? And we've discussed the analogies about what Wayne, was one of my favorite sayings about Wayne Gretzky says. He said that I never made a shot that I didn't take. I mean, you got to take the shot to be able to make it. And if you're not going to take the shot, there ain't no way in hell you're ever going to make it. So taking the shot with Empower Network and Team Certainty, is a action that if you've been putting it off, you need to stop putting it off, and get started. And the best time to do it is now. When we start reporting some of these numbers with iPass 2, now granted, look, it's not going to be free. It's not a free ride with iPass 2. It's going to cost you. But one of the best things about iPass 2 is that what Empower Network has done recently. And that is, you get in at 50% discount. Now you got to do it pretty quick, but if you've already made the decision prior to even getting in, you know what you're up against. You know what your obligations are. Instead of paying $6,000 to be all in, get all the Empower Network products, you join, and then you have 72 hours, 3 days, to spend $3,000 and you're all in. You get everything at a 50% discount. To me, I certainly wish they had that when I got started, because I did spend the $6,000, $8,000, whatever it wound up being, to buy all the different products. And Gary, I know you, and Iron Dane Richards, I know you did the same thing. So, but when we start reporting these iPass numbers about how they're producing for us, and we really start getting into some of this stuff about iPass 2, which will happen certainly well before the October event, but will lead up to the October event and beyond. I think people are going to, they're just going to, look, if you don't join, then you really don't need to be listening to these events, because the opportunity's there, and we're going to share it with you. We're going to take the risk, but we're going to share our results with you. And I know what the results are going to be, because I've seen some of the stuff with iPass 1, and iPass 2 is 10 times better. So it's going to be an opportunity, and the smart ones are going to get in. That's fine if you've been waiting a year, 2 years, perfectly fine, doesn't matter. The smart ones are going to get in, get all in, and travel with us in 2015 to the countries that we open. You know, because when we open, when we go to countries, and I tell you, I say Uruguay all the time. You know, I like that country. I've never been to it, but I think the people there would probably do pretty good with Empower Network products. That's just my gut feeling. But you know, if we take 10 members there from this team, you know, and we're down there for a week or 2 weeks, some of us, I plan on staying there a minimum 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
You know, to get acclimated, you know, whatever we got to do, what kind of ads and whatever we have to run. But our network is going to grow specifically from that environment and the effort that we put in down there, and we're not going to leave until it's solid. You know, and the possibility of coming back. One of the best things about, you know, growing these countries, you know, taking these trips, you can go down to, like, you know, and Iron Day and Richard, you and I have talked about this extensively about, you know, being able to travel down there and spend a month, you know, down there 6 weeks, you know, and then come back and you do everything on Google Hangouts.
Yeah.
You know, and we
get
to
meet. Internet will travel.
Yeah, we get to meet the team, their prospective members, all members from Uruguay, get to know, you know, us team leaders here in the States. You know, and the team leader, you know, I really do expect to have a team leader on these panels with us doing these Google Hangouts from Uruguay.
Sure.
We might even host them all, you know. But anyway, you know, that's when this hangout is over and done with. You know, the future hangouts are strictly going to be for prospective new members, you know, and back into the scene of what to expect, how we make our money, the information that, you know, we've gone over a lot already, but there'll be a lot of new stuff, you know, and new members need to hear it, especially this iPass 2. Gary, have you got any updates on your iPass 2 recently?
Just like a week and a half ago.
Yeah, Gary Jones, or it's Gary Jones.
Chris.
Yeah, Chris Jones. Sorry, Chris Jones. Yeah, is you know, put out an email not too long ago. You know, and I'm checking my back office every day. Actually, I had an update, you know, from the support on some other issues, but you know, I've got everything lined up, traffic and clicks ready to go, you know, once we got the green light. And I'm actually a little bit surprised, not really too surprised, but, you know, come Monday or Tuesday this coming week, if we haven't got a green light to do some of the beta testing that's already actually taken place, but some of the first people to get our hands on it, you know, because we're black members already, then I'd be very surprised. Chris Jones is ready to go. And chomping at the bit to do it, but I guarantee you, iPass 2 is going to be a big deal at that Orlando event, you know, and you know, hopefully we'll be able to do one of our seminars we're talking about before the event, because I do plan on doing some heavy recruiting around the Orlando area, you know, prior to the event, and we'll see what we can get done there in Orlando. You're not too far from Orlando, are you, Mr. Iron Day Richards?
No, just you know, I'm a couple hours flight. But I'm about what? Okay. 10 hours drive time is about it. Yeah.
All right. Well, you know, my middle daughter just got back from Orlando for the summer, and she was there for seeing with one of her friends there, and you know, gave me the whole story. We have taken our kids there a couple times before, but I can imagine how much it's changed growth-wise. You know.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's family Mecca family area, so pretty crazy. Well,
it'll take me all day in the air, boys.
What's that?
It'll take me all day in the air. Well, I'll spend a lot of it on the ground, but
yeah, just doing that.
More than 2 flights, I'll pretty well guarantee you.
Yeah, you're probably two hops, 2 stops on your deal, huh?
At least.
all the money you're making, you just get your own plane.
Yeah, well, one day.
Well, I'll leave you with this, and then we can do closing comments. Aviation is an area that I'm moving back into, and I am utilizing a couple of the Empower Network products to kind of configure a few things. But, you know, and I'm not advocating, you know, Team Certainty or even Empower Network or anything have their own corporate aircraft or anything like that. But the company that I'm going to be working with, which will be owned by me, will have access to corporate aircraft. And yeah, and the interesting thing about it is the Empower Network product kind of pushed me in that direction with it. Now my family's aviation background, my whole family, so. But I've had long conversations with Mr. Iron Dane Richards and his aviation history and aviation and aircraft and stuff, and it's not as extensive as mine, but it's equally as valuable and knowledgeable, certainly, in marketplaces and so forth. But
I think there's a huge market there in corporate travel that wants to pass that terminal. Good Lord.
It just has to. It has to make sense, And Honda came out with a new corporate aircraft, Honda.
Yeah.
I think the timing on that is absolutely ripe. I mean, corporate America is ready.
Yep. And they got that little, what is it, Cessna Mustang? That little, the little midget, and the Embraer from down in Brazil. They got that little one. Yeah.
And the Honda, the Honda new, turboprop, as well as the new jet, corporate jet, midget corporate jets are doing as well. I'll leave you with this party note here, and then we can do, round the call for last call. But in regards to aviation, and that is, if your cost right now, I get, Black Jet seems to be the cheapest legs. They're this charter service that is cut into these 135 charter operators, where if somebody rents a G4 aircraft and is flying from Houston to New York, and there's 2 seats open, they put those seats out where you can buy them.
Empty line.
But they're still crazy expensive. I mean, you're talking $4,000 or $5,000 one way.
Yeah.
And that no one's gonna. I mean, to say no one's gonna do that. There's not a huge market for that. If you drop it down to about 1,500 or 2,000, there's a big market for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this business model Iron Dane Richards and I are talking about, that stemmed from a lot of this Empower Network product and business models that they work with. If your cost in the aircraft is zero, guess what? Now you can offer those seats for $2,000-$3,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, it's stuff we're talking about. It'll be a lot of fun to explore and see what can be done there. But let's just pass around, Mr. Gary Smith. Why don't you start off with closing parting comments and pass it on to Mr. Iron Dane Richard, and I'll shut it down with everybody.
Hey folks, what we talk about here and everything in the internet marketing, the most successful people, and some of the only successful people in it, the 2% of people that try, obviously come into it with money. They have money to invest. And Team Certainty's, beginnings, we were trying to figure out different ways to help people that didn't have that investment, and get in by offering free income-producing blogs and stuff like that. But people were a little confused on that too. Unfortunately, anybody that tells you online that you're going to make $1 gazillion and you don't have to invest anything is just flat out lying to you. They're lying to you. And I get those emails every day. And I'll tell you what, some of them are just hard in hell for me not to click on, and I even know better. They're going to get to the point of asking you for a fortune, and that's the thing, the iPass 2 system kind of breaks all that down and explains that to you for $7, so you don't go into this thing all blind and stupid, but that's just kind of the way that it is. And Team Certainty, we're trying to, show you these different ways and products and things that we do that you can actually get into for very little money. And it's a springboard to get to something to where you can be an internet marketer, and this is not something to go into blindly. And I'm just being blatant honest here, and I just can't wait to do these seminars. Shake your hand and take you off to the side, but you don't have to wait for these seminars, folks. You can sign up right below, and you have access to this panel, and I'll visit with you. Hell, I'll visit with anybody on the phone. Don't bother me. You know, it's you know, you show me that you want to be a producer, and you come in here and get all in. Hell, I'll talk to you on the phone. You can talk to Big Mike. I'm sure he'll talk to you too. And we got a seasoned crew here, folks. I don't know if you added up all of our years of experience together. You're probably talking close to 75 years of experience here on this panel. You know, on different businesses.
Talking retirement.
That's probably you alone. That's probably you alone.
Yeah, you know, and that's why, you know, I look at my Gmail account and it says over ages, and I'm like, over ages? that's pretty funny stuff, you know, but hey, you know, I'm being truthful here, guys. This is a raft of knowledge here. You take advantage of it. You know, click on one of them buttons below and get hooked up with us. You've got to wait for no seminar. Do it right now. Get in on this iPass-2 system, and you know, everything's being laid out for you. You got a product, you got a platform. You don't even have to talk to the people. There's a virtual assistant that's going to upsell them for you. You know, good Lord. This is a time to, you know, if you got a little jingle in your pocket, get going. If you don't, get going as best you can and hook up with us. I'll show you some ways to make some other money online.
Okay,
That's
good enough.
Go, guys.
Mr. Iron Dane Richards?
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking of something that, you know, about we talk about new ideas and like that, and one of my old quotes that came to my head was about Mark Twain. He said, a person with a new idea is a crank until the idea succeeds. You know, how many times have we seen that, you know? And so,
right.
Folks, I mean, we may run some ideas by you that you think is kind of like, well, that's kind of weird or something like that, but you know what? Unless you put your energy and your focus into it, nothing will happen. And like I say, when people tell me they're not doing anything, they're doing nothing, they're doing something. They're just not doing anything worthwhile. Nothing, not moving ahead. So use your time wisely and come back and watch this again. The other thing is the buttons down below are for you to sign up tonight. We appreciate you stopping by for the visit tonight, and we'll look forward to having you come back again.
Hey, with that Mark Twain quote, buddy, that kind of made me think of you. He lost his ass trying to do these other little projects and stuff, and then he realized he needed to go do some seminars and rub some bellies, and did that world tour and kind of got himself back lined out again.
He sure did. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know, I agree with what you're saying, and I think, Gary, you know, your time spent on eBay and, you know, tonight was well, you know, needed, and you know, a little bit of breath of fresh air, you know. And again, the hangouts from this point forward for the rest of 2014 are going to be focused on Orlando, iPass, and the goals of 2014. You know, that will mean something in 2015. So basically, what I'm saying is, from this point forward, you know, Team Certainty is basically focusing on 2015. All the actions we take from now until the end of December will all be measured in 2015, and for the benefit of us and the team in 2015. Now, obviously, October with the Orlando event, you know, should be a swing at the fence, but that goes without saying. But the actions that we're going to take, you know, between now and the end of the year will all be for the reward in 2015. So, you know, I do recommend, you know, joining tonight. All you can spend, again, is $25. So the buttons are for below. Level 3 is what I recommend to everybody, minimum. You know, getting started there. That's where you spend the least amount of money, and to get the maximum amount of return in the shortest amount of time. So, and again, the earnings disclaimer is below as well. So, you know, we can't promise you'll make any kind of money unless you put forth effort to do so. It's all contingent upon yourself, you know, to put forth the effort and benefit with the rewards as well. And with the information Empower Network Team Certainty and us team leaders can provide, you know, all you have to do is follow the bouncing ball, and you'll be there. You know, and nothing else, you know, for tonight except for thank you, viewers, for joining in. And again, we do these Google Hangouts twice a week, this time period from 8 to 9 Central Time. Try and keep it to an hour, and then Saturday mornings from 11 to 11:30 Central Time. and it's a question and answer period then, and that's what the tab on the side of the page is over here. You just click that tab, type in a question, and support will answer it, and we'll also answer it for the viewing public on Saturday mornings as well. So I thank you, Mr. Iron Dane Richards, Mr. Gary Smith. Thank you for being here tonight, and thank you, viewers, for watching live or watching us on replay or listening on one of our radio broadcast stations on the internet. And we'll see you Saturday morning. Thanks, everyone. Have a good evening. Take care.
Take care, everybody.
Take care. Bye now.